How y'all doing? Back at you with your eyes and ears don't lie, and it's been a rough week or so, especially these last couple days. I hope y'all had a good 4th of July. Not feeling like, had a lot of independence to celebrate with the destruction of democracy and the obvious lack of giving a fuck about the general public in this country. But I hope you all were safe, had some good time to spend with your family, because really, it's about family, because that's all that really matters. Family and your community. If they got your best interest in mind, hopefully you got theirs in it. But nonetheless, that bullshit bill did pass, and now you're seeing additional repercussions from people where now they're kind of seeing how it's going to really impact them, and how I don't know how many times we can say I told you so. Because now you're seeing that so many people have admitted in this Trump MAGA bullshit that you just took him for word, that you believed it because he said it, that you don't read nothing. You don't read the facts, you don't read the reports, you just go by what he said because your cult leader is God to y'all. So you just read what you believed what he said. You didn't read, and that's a lot of them admitting that they didn't read what he said. You didn't follow up on anything. You didn't actually read the bill, just like you claim, because he said he didn't know nothing about it, that you never educated yourself on Project 25. Because the most dangerous person in this administration is Stephen Miller. These people that are going to have their hands in government way after Trump's gone. Because even if he forces his way into trying to get elected again, you got to look at the other people in the administration who are young enough to continue to ruin this country for decades. And that's where you look at the misconception that he's actually honest. Like, what are you people thinking when this man, if his mouth is running, he's lying? And I'm seeing right now where I'm looking at these farmers and these people in the Midwest and these red states who are actually getting a look at, damn, they're going to close hospitals now. I was reading an article in Nebraska where they're getting ready to close the one hospital you got there because you receive so much federal aid that you can't function without it. Because you've cut subsidies that are going, and this just isn't in Nebraska, but the red states are the most reliant on the feds. As much as they want to hate blue states, in addition to federal money that ultimately comes from blue states subsidizing red states, you guys, you bit the hand that fed you. And it's sad because these states are full of people that they didn't vote for this, and they may not have even voted for this orange-faced gremlin. But overwhelmingly, these Midwest states, the majority of y'all did vote for him. You voted with hate and ignorance because you put this man on a pedestal like he's a deity or some god because he's speaking your language. He's speaking your language of hate. He pumped you up on this white nationalism and the fact that everybody of color is ruining your country because it's yours. So you didn't look at common sense voting. And I'm not talking about picking a Democrat or a Republican. Pick somebody that was more likely to help you instead of hurt you. And that's not, drop my other phone on the ground, but it ain't broke, got a good case. But I mean, as I was saying, is that at a certain point, sometimes party doesn't matter. It comes down to what do you believe in, what do you stand for, or if nothing else, from a selfish standpoint, who am I better off with? And I cannot believe that a lot of y'all felt like it was this orange-faced gremlin. Like, it really makes no sense, especially when you look at in the Midwest and all these agricultural dependent states. You guys know that you're hiring immigrants, and you know that you're hiring illegal immigrants. Because as you on TV crying and you making these social media clips crying about how nobody's showing up to do the work at your farms, you knew that before you made this vote. But you just assumed it was not going to be you. You weren't going to be affected by these changes because he told you he was only going to round up criminals. Us non-Trump supporters, us that are not in the cult, we knew who he was talking about. The whole MAGA movement, we knew what he was talking about when he said what his vision of making America great was. And that did not include no people of color. That was evident from the moment he started running. And it just got worse and more apparent when he started going into rural America and seeing what he needed to do to rile up these crowds and realizing this is an untapped population in this country that a lot of politicians, because it just wasn't acceptable like that in public image, they didn't go after a lot of these people. They've always existed in society, and yes, there's some that are new to the plan, just jumped on the bus. But these hateful racist groups have always been a part of this country because that's part of this country's foundation. It was built on that. So they were anti-government. They weren't voting because nobody spoke their language. He realized this is untapped. This is millions of people that don't vote because a politician hasn't spoken their language in decades. He went after those people. I hate that dude with a passion. But he knows his audience. He knows who he needs to target to win. And that's what he did. So it's still y'all fault, and y'all deserve no pity. And I have no sympathy for you MAGA maggots, especially all of y'all that are losing all your farms and everything. The only thing I hate is that the rest of the country who didn't vote for this clown are going to suffer. And we're going to suffer because the cost of feeding America is going to skyrocket because these farms don't want to pay the rate that they're supposed to pay to get somebody to do this backbreaking work. That's why you've exploited immigrant labor forever. But we're all suffering from the decisions of basically some idiots because there's no other explanation for it because the truth was in the pudding. Y'all listen to them, but y'all don't hear them. These federal workers who you voted for a guy that said he was going to kneecap the federal government, these farmers who receive more from federal aid feeding the country and the U.S. aid contracts than you do selling to the public, voting for them and voting for them 3 times. Ridiculous. Just makes no sense to me. And that's a lot of people out there. And I'm seeing too, because, I'm in Southern California, and these people driving around and with their Trump flags hanging out, got they 12 by 16 Trump flags outside their house. They were so rah-rah up in your face and couldn't wait to tell you they support Adolf Trump. They wanted to throw it in everybody's face that they was with that bullshit. But I'm noticing y'all done took y'all flags down. Cowards. Why ain't you so rah-rah with the man you said you would go to war for, that you was willing to have a civil war for and charge the Capitol for an insurrection to overthrow the government? He ain't your dog now? Y'all taking y'all flags down. What's up? You take your colors off, you could walk through. What happened to, we don't do that. Busters. Now you feel stupid and now it's affecting you. Because these MAGA maggots, they're not upset at the behavior that's being exhibited. They're upset it's affecting them, and there's a difference. Because as long as this shit happened to people other than you, you will be fine. And that's something we can't ever forget. They don't get no pass, they don't deserve no pass. Because this is your fault and you did it. This is all a result of y'all voting for this man to put him in a position to do this shit.